Auburn trips up in overtime and what was one of the craziest games of the year.
You are Locked On Auburn, your daily podcast on the Auburn Tigers. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Yes, welcome on in to Locked On Auburn, your daily Auburn Tigers podcast. I'm your host, Zac Blackerby, and thank you so much for making Locked On Auburn your first listen every single day. The Auburn Tigers fall in overtime, 45-38, in a game where I don't know if you could have predicted what was going to happen. All week, the narrative, regardless of who you talk to, was it's going to be a struggle. It's going to be close, but the offense erupted. The offense absolutely erupted. It was the defense that could not stop Diego Pavia. That seems to have been a theme for Auburn, sadly, over the last few years. Look, it's clear with all... We'll talk about the game in a second. I think the overarching takeaway here, though, is, wow, the offense is better with Hugh Freeze nowhere near this program. No, there was kind of discussion on what it would look like. I mean, what an opportunity that was had for Derek Nix. And Auburn, put this in perspective. Ashton Daniels passed for 353 yards. We had a 100-yard rusher in Jeremiah Cobb, and Ashton rushed for 89. And Eric Singleton and Cam Coleman both had over 100 yards receiving. This is what the offense was supposed to be all season. And Hugh Freeze stood in the way of that. Props to DJ Durkin for giving the offensive guys the freedom and whatever was needed for them to have all of this. But goodness gracious, the defense. Was the defense able to, was DJ Durkin not able to devote as much time to the defense, and that's why it struggled? Or was it simply a matchup thing with Diego Pavia? I don't know. And I think both sides of the argument are present here. I think the folks can say, yes, DJ Durkin makes sense because of what you saw in the offense, and you can just kind of trust that the defense is going to fall into the place. But I also think the argument can be made for the defensive side of the ball regarding, okay, is DJ Durkin the guy, or is he just a coordinator because he needs to spend all of his time on the defensive side of the ball? Fascinating discussion that we will continue to have. I'm going to bring in Brian Smith, host of The Portal, with us. What an insane game, Brian. What an absolutely insane game where, okay, Auburn has this awesome offense, and then it's the defense. It's the defense that falls apart. Who would have seen that coming?
You know what I picked for a score in this one? This shows you how correct you are. I picked Vandy to win 24-10. I couldn't have been any further from the truth. It's just, holy cow. We had 83 points.
Crazy.
By the way, shout out to both quarterbacks. They were just accurate and clutch in so many moments. The defenses just got smoked. And then the receivers and tight ends and stuff made plays. You know, Cobb played well for Auburn. Offensive lines, when they needed a short yard, like anything the offense needed all day, it happened. Pretty much. Auburn didn't have their first 3 and out until the second half.
Yeah, Ashton 31 of 44, 353, 2 touchdowns, a 70% completion percentage. Like, I know people are upset with the defense, but and that's fine.
You can't be mad about
that. It's worst game of the season for sure. I don't know. I'm just not kicking myself over this loss. Like, if anything, I'm more frustrated with all of the time Hugh Freeze wasted. I'm more frustrated with that than the outcome of this.
That's the exact same thought that I had. When you texted me a little while ago, we were talking about Freeze for a second, like he screwed this up. I'm like, look, I told you earlier this week, I said, if Daniel starts, they're in trouble. Well, again, I missed that by about 1 billion miles.
He was excellent.
Yeah, he was. No, those are Heisman numbers, Zach. Literally.
Yeah, everything. This game reveals how much of an issue Hugh Freeze has been.
Yeah, he was 90% of the problem. Dude, they had 563 yards. When was the last time they went over 550? And it wasn't a directional school. Like, Clark Lee is an elite defensive coordinator. And they shredded them.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
I mean, it sucks that Diego Pavia has Auburn's number. Doesn't matter what school he's at. Like, that sucks. That truly sucks.
Right.
And Auburn had a chance to, become bowl eligible. Not with this game, but this was their 5th win, and they play Mercer after the bye week. Like, that would have been awesome for these players. It gives you more practice time and all that stuff. But this whole thing, I'm like, man, if we had Derek Nix calling this offense, I'm assuming that's the change, right? Like, I think it's safe to
100%.
I don't know if it's all the play calling or if it's the scheme, or it's probably both. But it's just so frustrating because this is the offense we thought we were going to have all year. We thought that. I said this before you hopped on. Ashton 350 plus yards passing. We had a 100-yard rusher. Ashton was 11 yards shy of being another 100-yard rusher, and Eric and Cam Coleman had 100 yards receiving. Like, that's an elite offense. It's just where do you lean into the fact that the defense stunk because DJ Durkin had to focus on things outside of the defensive game plan? Because that kind of seems to be the sentiment right now, and I don't have any argument where I can push back on that.
Well, 2 things. It had to be at least part of it because he's the freaking head coach now, so you have less time. And B, I just wonder, like, how did he, and I'm not sure he'll talk about this in the presser, but how did he assemble the responsibilities with him being the overseer? Who had what responsibilities? Because obviously they guessed wrong on some things they needed to do. That's fair. But again, at the end of the day, really accurate passes, there is no defense for it. Both quarterbacks killed it tonight.
And I don't have an issue like if Pavia throws a dot. I have an issue when there were so many outbreaking routes, and they had guys, it's essentially like a better ran rub route where you cross a lot of guys and somebody kind of gets open on the outside. Like, that happened over and over and over again. And Auburn's defense has typically been pretty it's typically been pretty good at that, and it wasn't. So that to me is where I'm like, yeah, if you're in the camp where you think DJ Durkin is a defensive coordinator and not a head coach, like, there is your argument. There is your argument 100%.
Look, I know he's going to play in the NFL, but 15 targets for Stowers and 12 completions. That leaves me a little bit on the concern side. But again, that's flat. That's not a maybe NFL. Like, he's going to play in the NFL.
He's very good. He's an underrated part of, like, Diego Pavia is getting a ton of the success.
Sure.
Or the credit for their success. Like, but Eli Stowers is a dude. He's very good.
He's a big wide receiver that can block like a tight end.
And we've seen tight ends give us trouble. We saw this to open up the season, and they just haven't played an elite tight end really since then, when Michael Trigg had their way against him against Baylor. Eli Stowers is better than Michael Trigg, and they really haven't played another elite tight end. So that probably has something to do with it. But yeah, Eli Stowers is a Sunday player. The defensive backs, they were more grabby tonight, and sometimes they drew flags, and sometimes they didn't. Sometimes we got away with some, and sometimes they didn't. I think Auburn did get screwed by the officiating. We'll talk about that in a second. As far as inconsistencies,
numbers, tend to go to your theory.
Yes, and Clark Lee's like situational unawareness on that was crazy. We'll talk about that in a second. But I do think there were some defensive backs that, it just wasn't their game, and that's typically one of the better units, better defensive back units. But were they bad because Diego Pavia is good? Or were they bad because DJ Durkin had to focus on other things? And it could be a combination of both of those things.
I'm looking forward to the press conference that DJ does, not tonight,
but Monday.
But when the media gets a chance to think about the question you just did, you and everybody else, because I'm sure DJ is going to think about it too. Because what did we screw up here? Because that's too many yards even against Diego. Like, you got to give him his credit. He's one of the best players in college football. That's fine. But there were guys that were open too often. We got out schemed too. It's not one or the other. It's both. That can't happen because he's going to make plays that you can't do anything about anyway, such as the scrambling and all that stuff. So, yeah, they missed on their preparation in some ways. But your question is the most important one, because if he can't do it, then he can't be the coach, because you're in 3 years, you're in the same boat again.
Yeah.
Period.
look, I mean,
hate that, but
folks can be mad or upset about whatever they want. I'm not going to tell them not to be. But I do think, like, watching this while the DBs did not have their best game, while the linebackers were spotty, I think, in assignment sometimes, and if you want to blame DJ Durkin for, time or whatever, that's fine. But to me, my biggest point of frustration is Hugh Freeze hosed all of us. Every single Auburn fan, every single part of this administration, and especially with all these reports coming out that he would go rogue and just call plays that they didn't practice, but he'd call them in a game. And so that was like a big part of the confusion. I mean, all this stuff just coming out. And then you see Derek Nix, this offensive coordinator, is just kind of known for being a recruiter. Doesn't call plays because he's been under Lane Kiffin and now Hugh Freeze come in and put together the game plan of the year. I mean, goodness, I can't get over how good Ashton looked, and it's wasted. It's wasted, lost, and people are saying moral victories, whatever. Like, we're probably missing a bowl game. Like, we don't have a whole lot to hold on to. Right at this point, we're talking about future. And if Ashton sits out the Mercer game and you redshirt him with this with these pieces and you're able to hold on to it, tonight does represent a semblance of hope for the future if you can hold it all together.
I think it's a great idea what you're talking about there. This is the most important discussion point between now and spring ball is quarterback, regardless of who the head coach is. Throw that to the side for a second, because talent-wise, I'm telling you, recruiting is my bag. Auburn's defense has enough players to be top 4 in the SEC next year with just a couple of portal additions. Like, everybody needs a couple. So if you figure out quarterback, you're 8-4 or better next year in year one of coaching, again, fill in the blank. So they got to figure that out in short order. What's the plan with Ashton? Or is it like they need to figure that out post haste? I'm very curious about that.
Yeah. I mean, for the first time this year, maybe not after the Baylor game, but for the first time this year since the Baylor game, we are going into a postseason conversation where Auburn had quarterback play, and I'm like, I'm okay if that's our guy next year. I'm okay with it. Like, if based on what we saw tonight, like if they do the whole redshirt Ashton, I still think you're going to have to get a portal guy. Now, like, the level of guy that you get, I want to talk about this in a second. Let's talk about this in a second. That's next, right here on Locked On Auburn. Today's show brought to you by our friends at Game Time. Game Time is the best place to buy tickets. It doesn't matter what it's for. Went to a concert earlier in the week, and those tickets were bought on the Game Time app. You should buy tickets there too. Strongly recommend it. It's the app that gives the advantage back to the fans. It's the easiest way to score last-minute tickets at the best prices with no surprise fees. What you see is what you pay. So take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use code LOCKEDONCollege for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, that is promo code LOCKEDONCollege for $20 off. Swipe, tap, ticket, go. Download Game Time today. Today's show also brought to you by our friends at Alumni Hall. AlumniHall.com is where you can go online, or they've got 3 great physical locations at Auburn, Opelika, and Huntsville. Go give them some love. They've got Auburn everything. Everything. Doesn't matter if it's for you, your children, your pets, your friends. It doesn't matter. They've got you covered. 3 great physical locations at Auburn, Opelika, and Huntsville, or online at AlumniHall.com. Brian Smith, host of The Portal, hanging out with us as we react to this. So the Ashton Daniels thing is fascinating because I think a core issue with this roster, because I think we have to say the roster now, because like it's confirmed that the scheme sucked under Hugh Freeze. Like, that is confirmed. Tonight has, like, we have washed all that away. It's like, okay, good. There is no gray area there. But you look around college football and you see like Fernando Mendoza.
Oh my God.
Or let's just stay with Ashton Daniels. Both of those guys in the portal, would you say cost more or less than Jackson Arnold?
I'm going to go less.
Way less. Way less. Those guys were afterthoughts. And to me, and then we'll talk about Xavier Chaplin in a second, but he does fall into this as well. You were texting me about him. Like, why in the world can he not stay on sides? Like, it's ridiculous. But to me, that's where Hugh Freeze blundered. It's like he saw the big shiny object in the room, and it's like, I want to pay the most to have that because everyone else thinks they're great. And the lack of evaluation was crazy. It's crazy, Brian.
I'm just going to ask you this on the air, and I'm going to put you in an awkward spot, but how good would Jackson Arnold be if Freeze would have been a CEO this year, called 0 plays, and Derek Nix was the OC and was calling plays? Unfortunately, we'll never know the answer to that.
I don't know.
I don't know if he's the guy at all.
He still doesn't get rid of the ball, though. Like, I don't think that was a Freeze thing.
But he would have been better, is my guess. It couldn't have been.
Probably is better. He's probably in a better situation. I agree with you.
It's just amazing what Ashton did. Think about this. The way football works at any major level, college, pro, the starter gets like 98% of the starter reps in practice. Daniels has a week or so with a new guy and goes out and has a Heisman-like performance against a team that's legit, has at least some chance to make the playoff, and a really good defense coordinator as a head coach, and has a 400-plus yard game in terms of his total offense.
Yeah.
I mean, holy moly.
Against a good Vanderbilt defense. Yeah.
I mean, you could say Ashton was the best player in the conference this week, except for maybe Pafia. How ironic. They played each other.
Yeah, or Cam Coleman.
Oh, yeah. Well, he does. Like I said to you,
they said it in the. I don't know. I don't know how you watch games, Brian. You may mute them because you're a football guy. I don't know, but the broadcaster, after he caught the touchdown, this was before the 2-point conversion, and it was kind of funny because I was thinking the same thing. It's like if you saw that video online, you would think it was AI. Because it was so like ridiculous. Like it almost looks like it goes through the defender's hand and he just like catches it with one hand. I mean, it was unbelievable. And then he does the one-handed catch with his other hand on the 2-point conversion. It's insane.
I knew what Cam could do because I saw him in high school make plays that I didn't think pro players could make. So I don't pay attention to it anymore. Like seeing it live from 10 feet away is different. Seeing it on TV is still awesome. But I saw him make a catch in high school with 2 hands that I didn't think he would physically be able to get a fingertip on. It's just, I think he could dunk on a 12-foot goal, legitimately.
I mean, he's an athlete. He's an athlete and just plays so loose.
He is an alien. He's not an athlete.
Fair. I will not push back on that. It seemed like they finally used Eric Singleton the right way. 11 catches for 102 yards, more of the check down stuff. It kind of seemed like they were using Cam before this game, using Cam as like the possession receiver, and they were sending Eric down, and then they couldn't get the ball to Eric.
This is what Ole Miss did with their receiver, their big receivers.
Yes.
It's the exact same thing. I mean, he learned from Kiffin. Let's not kid ourselves. That's, by the way, a pretty good play card to learn from. Slightly.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love it.
Mason Murphy did a decent job moving to center.
It's hard making that move in the middle of the season.
Yeah, I think all things considered, there was a few, procedural stuff that he got flagged, but it's like you're probably going to have that anytime you move a tackle to center. That's not who I'm upset with. The Xavier Chaplin thing and how he's still like a starter is kind of mind-blowing. It's kind of mind-blowing.
Maybe they don't want to switch even more parts around. I've heard that discussion with O-line coaches before, but this, I don't know who they would put in or how they would do it, but it just doesn't work when they're on the road and it's wild with him. He has at least 1 or 2 of those, it seems like, every game. That stuff matters, man. 5 yards in an SEC football game doesn't sound like diddly, but it changes down and distance. It changes play call for O and D. It matters.
And then Preston Howard is one of the worst SEC tight ends I've ever seen.
I'm not going to say anything on this.
You don't have to, but like some of it's not his fault in the sense that like other players have played that bad, but they get pulled. And so these mistakes don't stack on top of each other for an entire season.
Well,
and I'm assuming they want to redshirt Ryan G. I'm assuming that's why he's not playing, but I don't know.
Is there another plausible explanation?
They think he's the best option. It would be the other explanation.
If they think that's the best option, now I'll step in. Your wife graduated from Auburn. She didn't use any eligibility. She's cute. Let's at least put her out there for that. I mean, he's not very good.
He's not very good. That is true.
I'm sorry.
I just don't understand. I don't understand that. Now, ironically, him dropping the pass at the end of regulation gave us another shot. It's like that's I guess.
But he shouldn't have been in the game in that spot is still the original point.
You're right. Yeah, like in that situation, why do we even have a tight end on the field?
You took the words right out of my mouth. Let's go 50 here. 5 wide receivers.
Or like put Cobb, like if you want to do Cobb and Omar for either pass protection or you want to put Cobb on the field, so maybe they keep a linebacker on the field since you have 2 running backs or something. Like I still think that would be more productive than having a tight end on the field in that scenario.
You could have put Cobb in the slot.
Yeah, right.
You could have run him in motion, done all kinds of little things just to make the eye candy work. So you moved Singleton across the field.
Yeah, you've got to, like, if you're a safety, you have to treat it a little different. Maybe not in that scenario, but I don't know. I mean, the other like glaring thing was the no calls for Vandy, and then the stuff that was called on Auburn. The no DPI called on the last drive of the first half was egregious. Right. It was absolutely egregious. Clearly, he gets there early, does not turn around. It was a joke. It was an absolute joke. And then all this stuff with Pavia running around, which this is pretty normal. It's pretty normal when you see a mobile quarterback
holding on the outside.
Is tackled to call for holding more. And it's like, that's just part of it. But man, not for Vandy tonight. Goodness gracious.
They can't block Auburn's defensive ends. Even take Falk out of the equation. Nobody can block him, period. Amaris and the other guys that are in there, those guys are good football players, man. At the SEC level, there is no way there wasn't conservatively 4 or 5 holding calls that could have been thrown.
Yeah, and one of those changes, like call one of those, it changes the game.
That's what I mean. Like even Joe Montana in his prime, 1st and 20 blows. There's nothing good at 1st and 20. There's no play call for that. So, yeah, I'm sorry, but they had 3 for 21. Auburn had 12 for 90. 70 yards in penalty. That's a touchdown drive. 70 yards is a touchdown drive.
Sure.
They were gifted. I mean,
it's hard to not lean into the SEC's trying to protect the teams that have a chance to go to the playoff. It's really hard to not see that at this point. And that's sad. That's really sad for college football.
Yeah, especially a story like Vanderbilt. I guarantee you, because I've been in these kinds of meetings before with people at bowls and stuff that like make those decisions. Yes. The only thing those places care about is how do we make the most money? I mean, literally. Vandy is a great story. They would kill to have them in the conversation going into the last weekend when they played Tennessee.
Right.
So I can't confirm or deny it, but the officiating was, again, bad.
Yeah.
I'm just going to ask this. Zach, did you make a bunch of officials mad when you played or something? Did you just do that and all of them just hate you because you're an Auburn fan or something? Like it's every week you and I have a conversation off the record about the officiating.
It's crazy. It's crazy. And the fact that like SEC has stepped in and suspended folks indefinitely and all that, it's like, it's not just us like fighting air. Like it's an actual.
Well, the one guy that got like tossed, like he was a long time guy.
Yeah. Right.
Like 20 years. I mean,
when you said he missed like it was like 9 of 11 calls. You and I texted about that a little bit. It's like, goodness gracious.
That's almost impossible to do. Like seriously, because he literally studies it every day.
Yeah.
That'd be like me. Like all I do is watch film of recruits, not be able to evaluate all of a sudden. An accountant not being able to do math. Like how did that happen all of a sudden at the end of your career?
Yeah.
Because this guy was acclaimed. He got tossed.
Yeah.
It's so wild. So wild. Well, let me ask you this. With the Auburn offense tonight, does it at least give you hope that they'll want to, like the players will want to stay regardless of the coach if Nix is
yes.
around? That's what I was wanting, because I'm like, if it's not DJ, and again, I have no clue. I have no fight in this. If Nix is around, offensive players like Cobb's got another year. He's got to be like, man, this offense is great because they spread them out. I've got holes to run through, and I make the first guy miss. He's an 800-yard guy next year conservatively.
Yeah, I'm super interested to see what Jeremiah does. I mean, I assume he comes back. I'm assuming
he'll get some offer, like what he's doing here in the last month. He'll get some offers to transfer.
He's gotten so many offers though before he became the guy. Now he's the guy. Like, why would he leave now? I don't think he's an NFL guy. So
he's not big enough. Like he doesn't have the pop. That's the problem.
right.
Like, he might make a roster for a year. So I don't think
he might be a gadget guy. Like, yeah, guys like that typically return kicks too that make it.
Yep. Yeah, he's not a 205-pound thumper that's 5'9" that's got wiggle. He's under the 2 bills, I think. If he is over 200, he's hiding it well. But he's quick. I think this offense fits him pretty well, to be honest.
Auburn's 563 yards of total offense were its most in an SEC game since 2019 versus Mississippi State, and most against a ranked opponent since 2016 versus 17th ranked Arkansas.
Well, those were some interesting offenses for the Tigers. So that is very, very interesting.
Yeah, I'm trying to see if there's any other offensive stats. The last time Auburn had a 300-yard passer, a 100-yard rusher, a 100-yard receiver in the same game, you want to guess?
93.
04.
Okay, that was the other.
Mason Campbell, Carnell Williams, Courtney Taylor. That's crazy. For the first time in Auburn records, Auburn had 2 receivers with 10-plus catches.
That's honestly very, very hard to do.
First time in Auburn history, Auburn's had 2 receivers with 10 or more catches.
Florida State probably doesn't have many of those. I mean, teams like Miami and stuff that throw more. That's not an easy task right there.
Man, I just can't believe how bad the defense was. I just can't believe it. Are you concerned about that? Just from you kind of being, I mean, somewhat of an outsider with this, like just big picture view. Does this scream like they missed on a game plan, or DJ Durkin didn't spend enough time on the defense, or Diego Pavia just owns Auburn? Like, what do you think? Like the core, truth is probably a combination of the 3, but if you had to say like the primary one, what would it be?
Diego Pavia owns Auburn.
Okay.
I mean, he's throwing darts. I mean, it's just from 5 feet away, it seems like. Even when he was throwing like seam or to the outside on an edge where, Auburn's coverage is pretty good. If it's a little behind the guy, when it's 3rd and 4, he gets 6. Like, it's just gross. And it's like the worst thing that happens is you cover him. Then he makes the first guy miss in the backfield. He is the most escape-ready guy in college football this year in the backfield. He might have been last year too, but this year he's really there.
Yeah.
And then he gets on the perimeter and you're almost hoping that he throws it because he makes the first guy miss again once he gets squared to the line of scrimmage with the DB or linebacker.
Right.
He's like a running back.
You're right. It's
always a really bad situation when he gets outside the pocket.
Yeah. Pavia, 377 yards.
I mean, Auburn's defense did not play well tonight, but you got to consider they also shredded Texas's defense.
Mm-hmm.
They also put up points on LSU's defense. Like, he's just that good. So if you put a normal quarterback at Vandy tonight or any of their other games, they're a team right now that's 500. It's just
sure. It's just different, though, because, I mean, Auburn did a great job shutting down Marcel Reed, they seem to get better as the season goes on. They did a great job shutting down Arkansas, which they've scored on everybody.
Right.
Who else? John Mateer, which, there's varying opinions on him at this point in the season, but still, like, it's Diego Pavia isn't like a tier better than those guys.
It's a couple.
So I don't.
At this point, would you name anybody above him in the SEC for first team all conference?
Yeah, I think so. I think Marcel Reed's better than him.
I would take Pavia.
Pavia is doing more with less.
That's the big reason. Like if you gave him Reed's
That's
weapons,
not typically how those work, though.
Oh, I know.
So they all like to be on the same like 3 teams, you know. But I mean, I think I take him over Mateer.
Oh, it's not even close. Mateer can't read a defense.
I would take him over Lenoris.
Yeah. I feel bad for him. He's got no
I
eye.
haven't watched Arch over the last few weeks. People are saying he's better. I don't know how much of that is like, you know, just people love Texas or what. But you nodded, so it sounds like he is. His stats are better. I don't know if his processing and all that is better.
A little better, and he's just been more accurate on the deep. Well, if you're accurate on the deep ball, it cures a lot of ills. And he's hit a couple of money shots than really big moments. So I'll give him credit.
Somebody in the chat saying Trinidad.
Is he
better than Diego?
I would take Diego because he's got more power on those short yardage third. And like he is the Navy quarterback with passing skills.
Okay.
That's how I would describe Diego Pavia.
He's a player, man. He's a player. And sadly, Auburn couldn't beat him, which is just kind of amazing to think about.
How would you handle next week? Would you come out and just
bye week? It's bye week for us. Then we play Mercer and then Alabama.
When you go play Mercer, you're obviously going to win. Would you blitzkrieg them and just let this offense go nuts if you were DJ? How would you do that? And I'm assuming Deuce is going to be the guy. And for those that have not seen Deuce, well, I've known him for a couple of years. We've seen him at practice and stuff. He is a freakazoid. He's in Cam's category athletically.
Yeah, the quarterback situation is going to be super interesting because
that's what I'm curious. You've got to do that if you want Ashton back. And I assume Ashton
I think
like that.
I understand that they're in the mindset of they want to win as many games as possible, but
sure.
If you're Auburn or if you're Ashton, you guys say like, hey coach, like I want the opportunity to, you know, continue to play college football and, you know, potentially lead this team next year.
Sure.
And if you're DJ, you got to think I might be coaching this team. And it's like, I need Ashton, or I would like Ashton. I think you'd rather have him than not, especially after tonight. So I'm, I wonder if it is Deuce, because my gut, if I had to pick right now, I think it's Jackson. I think they would start Jackson over Deuce.
I'm just going to go ahead and say it. This is something I'll give you credit for. You said it earlier this year about 10 times on the show when I came on. At some point, you can only pay so many quarterbacks.
Right.
All three of these guys ain't going to be back next year because now Ashton's proven that he can spin the rock.
I think the stuff that he did on socials and the way he's like, you know, impacted a few relationships, I think he would have been more likely to start if Freeze was still here. I don't think Durkin's going to play him. I don't think Durkin will put up with that.
Well,
that's my guess. I don't know. I don't know that. That's just me guessing right now.
Here's where this is my world. And unfortunately, I know this stuff. This is gross, but this is how this works. That's a major 5-star kid, played for a program I'm about to be a part of with 7-on-7. That's elite. They got to recruit. Oh, that is politics. And they're going to be boosters that are paying Deuce's money. That is major politics. If he makes the wrong decision on that, he ain't going to be the head coach. It'll be done. And I don't know what the right decision is. That is 100% politics.
I just think if the folks who are on the staff that could be here next year, so Durkin and you know, we'll see what happens with some of the other guys. If they thought Deuce was going to be that guy in the immediate future, I feel like he would have gotten more of a chance by now.
Then he ain't going to be here next year.
So once again, that's just my guess. I mean, you're in a situation where you could have started anybody and everybody be like, yeah, okay, cool. You're trying something different. And they didn't do it.
Durkin might be kind of an old school guy. He was under Urban at, you know, one point or whatever, and the different coaches that are old school guys. And I get it, but I don't know the full backstory. I haven't spoken to Deuce. Even if I had, that's a private conversation. Obviously, something went wrong with what he thought Freeze was doing. That is clear. What it was.
The assumption is he's upset with how the Freeze Damari Austin thing.
Right.
He and Damari are close. So
the other question is, was that the final straw that broke the camel's back, or was there something else? And I'm guessing it's the latter.
Yeah, maybe.
That's the only thing he did, and he did that. Then I got a problem with what Deuce did, but
yeah,
I'm guessing there's more.
another thing is it is the bye week. I wonder if there's a potential for staff changes this week.
100%.
They hinted
100%.
Cohen hinted at potential staff changes in the future. Which the answer to that was a little odd, because it's like, if you're alluding to after the season, like, duh. And I also think you would just say, like, yeah, we'll reevaluate at the end of the season or whatever.
Sure.
So like, I thought that was an interesting way to answer that question, because if you wanted to let go of Jake Thornton, the offensive line coach right now, like, are you telling me the O-line play would get worse? Are you telling me that the O-line play would get less disciplined? Because, like, I have a hard time buying that at this point.
I don't disagree with you. I just don't know which person or persons would be the ones to jump in there and do that. And I'm just the other part of the politics. When you get rid of coaches, even if they're assistants during the year, and I don't know the answer to the following this, but if he is a good recruiter, relationship builder, any guys you have committed, that gets real dicey. And we're less than a month away from National Signing Day.
Mm-hmm.
So any way you do it, it's going to be awkward, because if you wait till after signing day, the kids you just signed are going to get ticked. So there's no win here for Auburn, for any coach, whether it's Thornton or anybody else. It's awkward.
Is Auburn in danger of losing any O-linemen that are committed?
I don't know, because here's the deal. Again, recruiting is relationship based. The people listening or watching this pod, whenever it is, they look at the logo. Recruits look at their chance to go to the NFL based on the coach they go play for.
Like, is Wilson Zaire coming because of Jake Thornton? Like, I don't think so.
I talked to him. That kid just wants to go to Auburn.
Parker Pritchett, I think, is the same.
Auburn. Those two.
Nikhil Heppy, I don't think, is going anywhere else. I don't think anybody else, like, at the stature of Auburn, is pursuing him.
Okay. Then maybe that might be a conversation then. Because the first two in particular, like, I've had face-to-face conversations with those kids at Auburn.
Right.
They want to be at the university. That's, it's just their choice. So the visits they took were just to confirm what they already thought.
Yeah.
So
we'll see exactly what that looks like, but I don't know. We'll see if there's changes or not. The offense blew me away tonight. The defense was super disappointing. We'll see what any potential fallout for this is, but I think you're going to be able to find what you were looking for tonight. If you're pro keeping Durkin, you're going to be able to find what you're looking for there. If you're saying, no, he's not it, he's just a defensive coordinator, you're going to be able to find what you're looking for there too. So whatever you wanted going into this season, whatever you wanted to see, is there clear cut for you.
Couldn't have said it better myself. It's imperfect game, but they at least they were still a heck of a lot more entertaining tonight.
Yep.
Holy cow! 3 points to
what a game! I hate that we were on the wrong end of it. What a game! What a game! Brian, how can people check out everything you've got going on?
Locked on the portal and Locked On Seminoles. If you're crazy enough to want to go see, I'm going to have a rant here in a little bit. I'm watching the score. I refuse to watch Florida State pretty much anymore at this point, but that's another story.
Understood. Yeah.
It's bad, but you can check me out, Spotify, Apple, YouTube, wherever you get your pods. The portal is the better pod right now to watch.
It's about to become really important.
This next week, there's going to be a lot of kids. Oh, by the way, the Edwards kid from Kansas State just jumped in the portal. That might be somebody Auburn goes after.
Yeah.
Running back. He's stuck. So
very good.
We're going to see a lot of that stuff.
Please like the video. Please subscribe. We'll see you next time. This has been Locked On Auburn.